Muy buenas tardes, mi gente. Today is Thursday, April 18, 2024. And here we are. The crew didn't make it. I know I announced it earlier this week. We had a whole topic, conversation, you name it, for you guys, but they could not make it. So it's me and Mr. Johnny Cupcake here. So guys, we're gonna mix it up a little bit today. So we will do the saludos at last. Since we didn't have anything planned up for you guys and it's all last minute, we decided to thug life it. So yeah, we're like drinking right here. Number one. And number two, we're gonna talk about what is it? Scary situation.
A very scary situation.
Yeah. Yes. 4 nights of terror, to be exact, that we lived a few years back. So why not talk scary if that's what all you guys want? Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Start.
I don't remember the dates, though. Do you?
2011.
It was that long ago. 2011.
Yeah. This all started in 2011.
Yeah. Started off. It's your show.
Okay. Sorry for the alcoholic beverages, but it's hot. Before we get into the story, just be advised, it is kind of scary, so it may not be suitable for younger audiences. You have been apprised. This is your warning.
Yeah, it was more trippy than scary. No, it was scary. But
it was scary.
It was a fucking trip.
Yeah, it was.
So it was all you're all to your bad business. That's why you bring all that bad shit home.
No. All right, guys. So we're going back into time. It is, I'm not sure the month, but I know it's the year 2011, and this started on a Tuesday. It was like Tuesday madrugada, so it was gonna be Tuesday morning. My cousin had been having issues. Her husband was in a situation, so we had been with her till very late. We got home around like 1 in the morning.
It was late, yeah. It was.
Got home a little bit past 1. So by the time we did showers, this and that, and went to bed, it was obviously way later than past 1, closer to 2 o'clock. So we're sleeping, whatever, in our house. We were living in Baldwin Park at the time. If you guys are familiar with that area, it was on Ramona and Main Street in the Bank of America shopping center, where the old what was the Blockbuster Videos was downstairs.
Was it?
Yeah, the old Blockbusters was down there.
Bank of America. There's Chase on the other side. I think now it's a Superior Market or something like that, right?
It used to be the old Albertsons, guys. Right there, that shopping center.
Right across the street from the Marisco's place, right on the corner of Main and Ramona. Outside
our window where we slept, it was on actual Main Street. If you ever seen a sign that says drugs, that was literally outside our bedroom window.
Well, you got to give a backstory to why it said drugs, because we didn't write it there. We didn't write drugs on the wall.
It was there. It's like a big old...
It's an old lit up sign, I guess, back in the day when people used to have
businesses.
Their businesses and then live upstairs.
Yeah.
So it was an old drugstore.
Not drugs, like drugs. Like
yeah, it was a drugstore, a
pharmacy.
Yeah, wasn't a dispensary or nothing. It was a drugstore, a pharmacy, back in the days, and they just left a sign up there. So outside our window, it would light up with the neon lights that said drugs.
With the pigeons, they lived there. All the pigeons in Baldwin Park lived outside our window.
So if you're ever driving down Main Street,
you'll going see north.
That was our apartment upstairs, and there was only 2 apartments
upstairs there. And 1 downstairs. Us and the dirty people, and then
that's another story right there.
We'll get into that another day. Anyways, so yeah, we lived in this apartment. It was really old, like the 20s. It was a very big apartment. Like I said, the few friends we did have that we invited over that were actually from Baldwin Park were like surprised and tripping out that apartment was in there, because it looked like all businesses. So we had a 3-bedroom apartment, full size. big living room,
big 3-bedroom,
big dining area, big kitchen. We were childless at the time, so it was huge and empty most of the time because we were out doing the newly couple thing and stuff. So yeah, it was an interesting spot.
It was a hidden gem, is what it
really, really was.
Because nobody knew it was there. There was one way in, and it was through a little walkway with a locked gate. We had our own private stairs. That was it. Unless you had a key to that gate, you couldn't get up there. So we never had visitors, unwelcome guests, or nothing until that night.
That night.
Yeah.
Well, we were sleeping, like I mentioned. Yeah, it was about 3:30 in the morning, and the way our room was laid out is, okay, you have a room, the hallway ran. It was one room instantly on the left, right across that door matched to the bathroom door, and then our room was at the end of the apartment with the other room, so they were door to door, like door to door. So you would walk into the door facing in, and that was our bed against the wall, and we had a closet at the foot of the bed.
5 feet, yeah.
And on this side, which would be his side where he was sleeping, we had a cabinet where we kept our TV, and we had, you know, all our, like, the fan, a little fan up there, and I called it my holy corner because I had a Virgin up there, my little angels. I would put my candles up there, so that's what we kept on top of my TV. What is it, like an entertainment center? What is it?
It was, yeah.
That was our version of it. Anyways, we're sleeping, and all of a sudden, somebody comes out of the closet. You could hear these footsteps just walking. We had hardwood floors throughout the entire house, the apartment. So you could hear the heavy footsteps that just popped out of this closet, and you can hear them going across, you know, alongside, I should say,
walking around the bed.
And like not fast, taking its sweet time, step by step. And it sounded like a big full-on man, 300 pounds. I pictured work boots because they sounded really heavy. So it crossed the foot of our bed. It kind of paused in that corner, and then it came around literally to his side where he was asleep.
I woke up because the door opened, and I was like, man, what the fuck? Like, I thought you were up.
The closet door.
The closet door opened by itself.
The doorknob.
And opened. I kind of sat up. I didn't sit all the way up, but I kind of, like, you know, scooted back and.
Hold on.
Sorry, we're in Pomona.
Thug life with my Bud Light.
So when the door opened, I kind of scooted back in the bed, you know, to sit up a little bit to kind of see, like, you know, I thought it was her getting out of bed. And, you know, obviously she's laying right next to me. So I'm shaking her, like, hey, what the fuck? You know, like, what's going on here? It starts walking alongside the side of the bed, like she was saying, and then it just sat down, you know.
Right next to him.
But not hard, just slowly. You know, it sat down real casually. And you felt the bed move, you felt it go down, you seen it go down.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, fuck, you know. But, you know, we could get into more stories later about how shit like that would happen all the time. So it kind of wasn't too surprising.
But it was alarming because it caught us completely off guard
so
when we're sleeping.
Fuck, here we go, you know. And I'm like, hey, you seen this right now? And she kind of jumps up. And she rolls over and she's kind of laying on me like, what, you know, what the fuck's going on?
Because I had to see. And, you know, then I got scared when I saw. So, oh my goodness, yeah. Like, we have a cow king bed, so it's like a freaking boat. When he's shaking me, I was like at the edge against the wall. So I'm like, what? And he's like pointing, and I'm like, what are you pointing at? And that's when I heard the doom, doom. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I kind of like stood up too. I think that's when he kind of paused when I got up, like, to see what was going on. And then he continued another like 5 steps till he made it literally to like midpoint.
He sat down like
Yeah.
by my, like where my legs would be, my feet,
So
my knees.
So I was looking, and yeah, you could see the indention of the mattress that went down. So then after that's when I got all freaked out. I started praying. I felt paralyzed for a moment after I sat back like, oh my goodness. So that was it. We didn't hear it get up or see it get up. We didn't hear it walk away.
I remember it got up, but I didn't hear it walk away. It just stood there. And I was like, fuck. You know, and then eventually it took off. And so I think I got up and I turned the lights on. I closed the closet door like it wasn't a matter.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was just that night. That was the only event that happened that night.
And this was again
That morning.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning. So then, you know, we played our day out. He went to work. I went to my work. We did the whole work thing and, you know, came home evening time. Our time to get home was always around 7 in the evening. So, yeah, you know, we're showering, doing all that stuff. So, we're asleep again. We're asleep. I've always read or write before I go to bed or whatever. Back then, the phone wasn't like a big deal. We didn't have Facebook or nothing. So, well, at least I didn't. It was already out, but we weren't hooked to it yet. Right?
Nope.
So, yeah, I would sit there and like probably read and stuff. So, he was always, he goes to bed and that's it. He's done. So I'm sitting there reading, and then I eventually like started getting really sleepy. So I turned everything off, and again it was about 3:30 in the morning, huh? Same time again.
I don't remember the time, but
yeah, it was like
remember
3:30 in the morning. I remember, because all of a sudden, the empty room right next to our room, I started hearing scratching.
It was our hallway, room, bathroom, room. So our walls were in the next, you know, were joined with the next room. Obviously, we lived alone, so there was nobody in the house but us. And yeah, like it just started like
Scratching.
like just scratching the walls. They kind of sounded like
a bear
like,
with claws.
Yeah, it sounded like
animal.
something big. And so that woke us up. Obviously, it woke us up pretty fast because, you know, it was loud.
It woke me up.
And
I
again,
heard it.
nobody's in the house. Nobody. We didn't have kids. We didn't have nothing. We had one neighbor.
Our neighbor across the doorway on, you know, in the complex. The man was like on drugs or something. He was always hyper and a weirdo. And they would get out their window to play outside.
Yeah, we had our windows along our dining room, the bathroom, and that spare bedroom were all roof access. So you could go out the window and you'd be on the roof
to the next building. Yeah.
So I would be able to walk along the roof and go to the neighbors' windows, and they would also be able to do the same.
Yeah.
But they had young kids at the time. They were probably like 17, 16. And so they would hang out on the roof all the time with their little boyfriends and shit. And the man too, he would just sit up there and sing out loud and just be drinking and high and shit. So we
figured he jumped in.
We thought like, oh, this dude got high, drunk, came through the window and just acting stupid or whatever. So, you know, obviously all that loud noise, all the scratching and everything, you know, first thing we did was we grabbed the gun. Turned the lights on, grabbed the gun, like, hey, what the fuck is going on? And, you know, we would sleep with our door closed and, you know, open the door, kind of walk out through the whole house, like, see what's going on. And you could hear all the scratching. And as we walked through the house, it's not like, you know, we didn't startle something and just stopped. No.
It kept
going. As we walked through the house, it was just scratching. It never stopped. And I turned the light on in the room, and that's when it stopped.
In that room?
Yeah, the spare bedroom that we shared walls with.
After we checked the house to see if there was any signs of the windows that were maybe lifted, because we had old windows. Like I said, the building was from the 20s. So I had the windows that go up and down, and we didn't have no screens in them either. So, yeah, we checked to see if maybe they jumped in through there or if they came in through the door to get an idea of who might be in the room. So we did leave the room for last, but throughout the whole time, you know, he's walking in front and I'm standing right behind him, and you could still hear it at a distance, but it sounded like claws obviously the walls are kind of textured, so it's like it was so freaking scary. And it was in that same direction where I tell you guys that we had the TV where my holy corner was. So yeah, he's like, you know what, if they came in, he says it's gonna be through that window. So he went, opened the door fast, and when he did, the noise stopped. Because right when he opened, he turned on the light. No noise, no nothing. What happened? Who was it? What was it?
Yeah, and then, I checked the windows. Windows are all locked. Everything, nothing. That room was empty. It was empty. I think maybe had a couple boxes in there or something. I mean, we didn't have nothing in there. And so we walked to our room like, man, what was that noise? And it just started scratching again.
Yeah.
Scratching. Walk back to that room.
Nothing.
And it just stops.
So at that point, I grabbed my rosary and I was just praying to any saint, God, anything I can think of, because it was
saint that was awake at that time in the morning.
It was so scary. I was like, oh my God, like my legs even felt numb. I was so scared, like, oh my God. I sat there and prayed. I don't know if it was the prayers that made it go away. I mean, I wasn't praying all out loud, all scary like the movies, but I was scared and I was praying and I had my rosary and I'm like, oh my God. And this one's just like, what the hell? Like, he's trying to think, what can it be like?
Trying to like rationalize, like,
yeah, there was nothing, like there was no gap in between the wall to where maybe it was an animal. It was like wall to wall. So it was like, oh my goodness. And yeah, it eventually stopped. So we left all the lights on. I said, please just leave the lights on. I am so scared. We left every single light on in the house. And yeah, we ended up, going back to sleep eventually.
That was like for a good, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a while.
And it was weird because it's scratching. As soon as we turn that little corner to hit that next room, it would stop. We walk back to our room. Start scratching, go back and it would stop. I mean, I was knocking on the walls thinking maybe it's a squirrel or a rat or something.
Or the pigeons.
Knock on the wall and, you wouldn't hear no movement. A rat, whatever it was, you would hear it, moving in the wall. You didn't hear nothing. It's just scratching the whole time. And it wasn't coming, it was from that room.
Yeah.
And then she was praying, and then it just stopped. It stopped for the rest of the night, and we're cool.
But then he leaves 4:45, 5 in the morning. It was still dark. I was so scared. Oh my God. I turned the TV on. The news was on. Then I put Lucy on because the news wasn't cutting it for me. I was already all on edge and all the bad news. And I was like, oh my God. So I put Lucy on really loud, and I'm like against the wall with my back against the wall, like, please don't come show yourself right now. I'm so scared. And yeah, no, it was just like, it was a trippy ass night. Like, it's still unexplainable. Like, what was it? Why was it there? Like, this whole 4 nights of horror, like I call it, like, it was seriously a trip, because up to now it's like, as it came, it left. I don't understand what or why or where we even picked up this energy. Usually we're really good at picking energy up. And as weird as it sounds, when we go to church, it's a given. Something will follow us that night and we'll get activity throughout the house, or, something moves. It's just something.
We go to the Pantheon, church. We go to anywhere, even a party. We always bring something home.
Yeah,
we always
crazy.
Got guests.
So yeah, that was Wednesday. So again, I went to work. He's at work. We did our thing, everything else. Went to dinner, I think, that night. And we went home because we got home late that night. So here we are, again, going to sleep, everything else. I'm reading my book again. He's already snoring. And it is 3:15 in the morning again, 3 in the morning. This time, we had on top of my little holy corner right there, we have a big virgin, about this big. And I had a little resin, that material that's not really ceramic, but it's not like, what is it called? It's not ceramic. Yeah, it's like, it's not plaster, it's not ceramic, but it's breakable if it if it gets hit or it falls. We had a little angel that was about this big, huh?
Yeah.
And I can't remember, he was praying or something, but he had
sitting
wings.
Down like Indian style.
Yeah.
He had his hands up, had wings. About 7-8 inches
Yeah.
big, you know.
And it was wide. It was pretty wide.
And it was heavy enough.
Yeah.
It was heavy enough.
So we had it up there, and I also had a tabletop fan. If you guys don't know what that is, it's those tiny little mini fans that people use, you know, on their tables at work or whatever. So estaba chiquito, and I used to have it up there because when he used to leave to work, I would turn it on for white noise, so I could be hearing something in the background, you know? So it wouldn't give out a lot of air. Like I said, it was just loud, and it was comforting for me because I would be scared, you know? So all of a sudden, we start hearing this banging. It was crazy, like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, what the heck is that? So, you know, we don't sleep with lights on. The only lights were the ones coming in through the blinds. Not these blinds, by the way, they're filthy. Yes, we know. Anyways, yeah, it was like just thumping. So I thought maybe I left the fan on. Maybe it's like blowing over because it's hot. Like, I don't know. So right away, I wake him up to tell him, like, what is that sound? So as I'm waking him up, did you turn on the light? No, huh?
No, I remember.
We
kept hearing it. We kept hearing it. So I remember I sat up in the bed. I was like, man, what the fuck's that noise now? But it was like a dragging, like that.
And doom, doom, doom.
And I was like, man, what the fuck is that now? You know, because it wasn't the scratching of the wall. It was a totally different sound. So yeah, when it kept doing it, that's when I got up. I turned on the light, and you know, like I said, we didn't have kids at the time or nothing. So where our stuff was placed is where it was placed. We didn't play with it. We didn't move it. You know, we dust it, whatever. But it was always, everything was in the same place. The Virgin, we had a big picture of Jesus, and then the little angel. Well, up on top of where we had all that stuff up, you could see all the scratch marks.
It was dragging.
Where it was dragging, it was moving. And, you know, it was misplaced. You know, we have it on this spot, and it was over there, and there's a bunch of scratches and stuff.
So he got his phone, and he started recording it. And it was...
But see, remember, it wasn't doing it, like, until we turned the lights back off. And then the statue kept, you know, doing the swirl marks. Oh, he's scratching the table just for demonstration, god damn it. And it kept getting louder and louder, and then it would, you know, kind of wobble back and forth and shit. So we turned our lamp on, and then it would stop. Turn the lamp off, and it would start again. And then we turned the lamp on, and it kept doing it, huh?
No, you kept it off, but we opened the blind all the way.
Yeah,
and
so we had a little bit of light, but you could see it moving back and forth. That's when we were like, oh, fuck. And I turned my phone on, but I remember it was like really dark. And then you just see this orb. You know, this orb was just kind of like, remember, it was just kind of like just going, you know,
around that area, dancing around, because you could see it in the screen of the phone, dancing around. And then we turned on the light, and it stopped. So you see the light goes on, and then we turn the light off, and then the orb goes back up, and then it starts rocking the little angel statue.
Yeah, little statue was just bouncing back and forth, and it left a bunch of, you know, it was like, I don't even know what material it was.
It's resin.
But when you were dragging, it was leaving all kinds of like residue everywhere. Because the bottom
of the angel had textured wings that were to the base, had the wings, and then the little pants that looked like they were bunched up. So that design, obviously, like I said, went to the bottom of the base, and as it was circulating, that's what was leaving marks all over our table up there, our
stand, whatever.
Our stand. So yeah, he caught it on video. I had my rosary. I was praying out loud. I was crying this time because it's like seriously moving in front of our eyes. You know, usually when you're real paranoid and you think you're awake but you're not, and it's a dream, and this was full on in living color. Both of us were looking at it. He caught it on video on the phone. It was a good maybe 30 seconds.
It seemed long.
It was like 30 seconds on the actual phone. So again, I'm sitting there like, I just want to go sleep in the car. I don't want to be in here. And he's like, there, it's gone. Like, who cares, Whatever it is, again, wanted to make itself known. Like, we're done, whatever. So, man, I slept so close to him. I was so freaking scared. I held my rosary. I was sitting there I went to sleep praying in my head. So again, he goes to work a few hours later and I'm left alone. I have all the lights on. I have the TV as loud as it could be on. And I'm like sitting at the edge of the bed just like rocking. Like I didn't even want to sleep. I was just like, please let the sun come out now. Please. I just want it to be day. It was the longest 4 hours of my life. Seriously. So, we played out our day. At that time, I was working for my dad. He had a big rig, like the big diesel truck mechanic shop. I got to work and I was like excited in a scared way, So my dad, everything was a chamuco, everything. Oh, I heard something. I said chamuco. They're looking for you because you guys are bad. It's like, oh God. So, I get to work and I tell my dad, guess what happened? Because I had been telling him about the scratching and I told him about the footsteps. And, my dad's just like, I said, chamuco, he's going to take you guys because you guys are bad people. And, my dad.
You guys are always in the streets.
Yes, you're always in the streets. So, I got there to work and I started telling my dad. And I told this one, I'm like, hey, send me the video, And he did. He texted to me, so it did get to my phone kind of blurry, but you could see it. And on the video, the orb looked orange, like a reddish color. It wasn't like white the way we seen it. It came up red on the video. So, you could see the little orb. You could see the little statue, the little angel ahí en chinga. And I was like, oh my gosh. So my dad's like, yeah, the chamuco's looking for you guys. He even came to your address. He said, a domicilio, this and that. Whatever, Dad, just stopped. So all day I was really nervous because this one really freaked me out, So, my dad sitting there throughout the day, every customer that would come, the chamuco went to go look for her and John, show them the video. We were all family.
It was a highlight of the day. We knew all the customers.
We were family there. So everybody that walked in the door, they knew us. They'd been coming to my dad for 20 years. So we were cool. But every customer that came in that day seen the video because, my dad was just tripping out. Like, there was no explanation. My dad was so shocked with that video because he's all like, how did you even catch it? Like, were you guys moving? I was like, Dad, no. Like, I don't know. Well, that night we were there late. I had a driver coming in, so I was gonna meet him to exchange paperwork and all that. So it must have been about 8 o'clock, But it was dark.
It was summertime, so it had got dark a little late.
It was like 8 o'clock, and it was dark. It was dark already. And since we were already done working, we were sitting there, echando puro party, drinking beer and hanging out. And one of our other customers came in, and my dad's like, hey, show him the video. And, at this point, my uncle had already seen the video.
It was like the highlight of the week right there. Because every day she's going to work, giving everybody an update on what happened the night before. So by that night, it was 3 nights already.
This was the top of the...
Yeah, so it was kind of like, tell, hey, we're all sitting there drinking beer. So, hey, tell him the story, Show
him the video,
He's making fun of us, and at the same time, I'm kind of intrigued, and, he wouldn't admit, but he was a little scared. It got him nervous.
It was scary. Well, where we were hanging out, we had a truck that was up on the lift, and it had been there for about maybe 3 weeks. It needed a rebuilt on the motor, and the customer didn't have the money. So he was giving us, payments every week, little by little. So obviously it's a big investment. My dad was like, I will put it together when I get the whole amount because I don't want to, pull out of pocket and he ends up not paying. So this truck completely, the inside was pulled apart where the guys were they were actually leaning on this truck. We had him and my dad, my uncle, and the two of the mechanics and our friend that we were showing the video to now. Everybody's like in that area. There was like 4 of them leaning against this truck. Like I mentioned, the truck was in pieces. The inside was like pulled out. There was a tray next to it that had the pieces on there. And yeah, they're just passing the phone and they're joking as well. Que del chamuco, ahí vienen, they're looking for you. And I'm like, whatever. So tell me why, when we had the newer customer that was watching the video for the first time, he's leaning against the truck and he's just like,
no, we're leaning like on the side of the truck. We're not leaning on the tail. We're not leaning on the hood. We're leaning on the side of the truck.
Where the cab is, they have the steps on the side, the sleeper here. So that's where they're leaning. All of a sudden, this truck, okay, that's on these little lifts. What are they called?
Ramps. It was on the ramp.
The little ramp, right? This truck goes forward off the ramp.
But, you know, if people know ramps, you know,
they go up, down, not up.
But, you know, where the tires go, you know, it has an indentation, then it has a lip. So the truck doesn't go forward, or the car, whatever you're putting on the ramp. You know, most likely it's going to roll back down off the ramp, not forward. I mean, unless you push it or run it off. But it has that lip, so it kind of sits in that little dip, little groove, and then it has the lip. Wow, that day we're sitting there now. This truck's been here for a couple weeks.
3.
You know, air brakes, no air. Guess what? They lock. It'll move. Mm-hmm. And we're not pushing it front or back. We're leaning on it sideways. And as we're all laughing, talking shit, making fun, they're making fun of us. You know how the devil, all this
passing
shit.
The phone, keep watching the video.
Yeah, well, you know, we're telling you, you know, because people are coming. The uncle's there, her Uncle Ruben, you know, the customer. So, you know, every time somebody comes up, it's like the story gets, you know,
brought up again.
You gotta tell the story from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. So we're laughing, you know, we're talking shit, whatever. And this fucking truck just goes forward.
About 4 feet.
Yeah, it didn't just roll. It didn't just like kind of move. Again, the ramps have the lip. This truck rolls forward, comes off the lift, off the ramps, and it's rolling forward. We had to like, hey, what the fuck? You know, like kind of stand there. We all had to put our hands on it and kind of stop it from rolling. And that's when your dad really got scared.
My
he
dad
was like, hey, don't be telling the story no more.
Scared. He had to run in the office to go get the keys for the truck. Telling you guys, this truck had been parked in its spot for 3 weeks, locked and everything. The key was in the office. He had to go get the key to move it because now like the bottom of the truck had like taken the little ramp with it.
They were under.
They were all stuck under, and he's like, oh my god, you know, he's all worried about the gas tank, that it was gonna like mess him up. And yeah, he ran inside and he comes back and he's like, okay, no more, don't talk about this no more. Everybody was so scared. They were scared. If they say no, they're lying, okay?
Well, yeah, because remember, they jumped in there.
White.
They jumped in the truck and the brakes were on. We couldn't move the truck back or forth. I think they got the lifts and they were lifting it up, the air, just to get the ramps out and everything. The truck wouldn't even move because it was locked. Remember, the brakes and everything were locked. They had to lift them up to get the ramps out.
Yeah, because they were under the fuel tanks, you know? So, yeah, that was it. The customer even left. He's like, I'm out of here. He didn't even want to hang out no more. He's like, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
I don't care how cold the beer is. I'm out of here.
My uncle was like, yeah, no mas. He was white. The other guy was so scared. Our little pal Pepe, his took his shit. He's like, oh my god, the chamuco's here too. And it was very scary. And again, unexplainable. Like, how is this possible that this freaking truck, 39,000-pound vehicle, went forward, jumped this ramp, and continued to go forward? Because it moved about 4 feet.
It kept rolling.
4 feet forward. Big.
Yeah, but once it stopped, and then we couldn't move it because it was locked. The brakes, you know, air brakes, you know, there was no air in there, so they're locked. They're done. So we couldn't even explain that. That's when everybody got, all right, don't be telling the story no more. We're not gonna be making fun of the devil and shit. And I think that's it, because I don't remember anything else happening.
That was the 4 nights of terror right there.
Because I remember we got home, we were just like tripping out. I think we even saged the house and shit.
sage the house, and I was so scared to go to sleep. I was like, oh my God, please, God, let the chamuco have stayed at the shop. It's, well welcomed over there. Like, just don't bring them over here. And yeah, no, we went to sleep. It was over. That was it. That was literally the last piece of drama we went through with that entity, whatever it was, because
in that house.
yeah, from the sounds of those claw marks, guys, it sounded like a freaking bear. And I'm like, pezuña, I don't know. I wear a lot of acrylic, and the way my nails sound against the similar texture, it still don't even sounded really heavy,
that was
strong,
a crazy thing too,
real
because
thick.
they didn't leave no marks or nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing on the
loud.
other side. So what was it? Chamuco, perhaps. What did it want? I have no idea.
Only he knows.
He came and left. Maybe he just wanted to come scare the shit out of us.
Tickle your feet or something.
Because the way he came, he left. No trace, no reason. That's it. Se fue. Have you guys had anything similar to that happen? Like we said, we have a lot of situations that have happened to us. So we will be sharing. I've been breaking them in, as you guys can see. He's like, okay, I'll do it. And so here he is.
Camera shy people. I'm camera shy.
Just like me. So yeah, it's just, it's crazy. The paranormal, the unexplained, it all ties up in the same category. What was it? Like I said, we will never know. What did it want? For sure, we will never know.
No, but I'm a strong believer in your surroundings, your people, you hang with, your activities, all that shit. And if you're doing negative shit in the streets or whatever, you're gonna bring something home. Or you're, hanging around with people that are doing fucked up shit, you're gonna bring something home. Shit, we've been to funerals, go to funerals, and it's like, man, we get home and we're just like drained, feel drained, and then it's like all fucking night, like all the house is just going haywire,
For all you guys that might be watching this that have similar experience when you're out with people and you feel drained, there is a belief that if you're a sensitive or just very spiritual period, you get drained through your belly button. It is the weirdest thing, but it's a thing. Look it up. They advise you to cover it up. If you're going somewhere, like us, we go to the indoor a lot, the indoor swami. I just love the churros there and the raspados. I'm not even gonna fake the funk. I'm like, you know what? It's Saturday or it's Sunday. Take me to the indoor. Let's go get a churro. Why not? There, it's my guilty pleasure, and I'm gonna admit it, and I don't care. So we'll go walk the indoor. Check out the scene, walk around. The kids, let them breathe. And by the time we get home, about an hour later, I am so drained. I feel sick. I have like these headaches. And it's weird because they're on top of my ears, like just here, they linger. And my neck feels real stiff. And it's always that same kind of energy that I've noticed I either lose or gain when I'm around people. I've been sick before, you guys know that. The times I've been at the emergency room, same thing. I pick up these like aches, like it's so weird. So I was looking into that, like why would people get so drained when they're around a lot of people? And it ain't anxiety. A lot of people suffer from public anxiety when you're around a lot of people. It's not that. It is, I believe, the whole energy. So it's either like they drain you or you pick it up through your belly button. It's weird. So they, meaning the spiritual people, recommend you put a piece of algodón, like a cotton ball, and a band-aid over it. I haven't yet tried it because every time I'm leaving, I'm so excited to leave, I forget.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried it, but try it, guys. If you are watching this and you guys notice that you suffer from this energy loss or what, negative energy, I don't know what it, tiring
you feel
energy,
drained, you know. It's like you be all cool, excited to leave the house, you know, everybody, the kids are getting ready, everybody's, you know, showering and getting dressed, doing their hair and shit, and then it's like 20 minutes at the indoor swap meet or at the mall or whatever, and it's like, I know I just feel drained. I'm dragging my feet like, fuck, man, I just want to go home and I just want to go to sleep for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about Saturdays or Sundays where you don't do nothing, and 20 minutes in the indoor would just fuck your whole day.
Literally, like you're done. So try it out, guys. Like I said, I know it sounds weird, but why not? Right? Why not? So yeah, try it out. Tell me what you think. If any of you guys have a paranormal or unexplained episode, meaning something that happened to you, leave us a message. I would love to either have you here, we could do a Zoom, or you could just tell me your story and I'll share it for you. Because it seems like nowadays it ain't like taboo anymore to talk about it. People don't look at you
like a weirdo.
No, and I think Zach Bangs was the one that like opened up the doors to everything paranormal and the ghost hunters back then. Because I kind of, like, I've been following them since then, about 16, 17 years now. And when they first started, you know, the airwaves picked them up, it was still like, huh. But now it's like, you see all these online forums, and it is so many. Like, there's paranormal everything. They catch things on
already been,
pictures.
You know, people, like actual scientists, have already confirmed, you know, life after death and paranormal, and people stuck in between, and people, you know, bad people that can't cross over, or, you know, I mean, yeah, probably about 20, 30 years ago, probably look at you like you're fucking crazy, but now it's like, I think a lot of people are actually having a lot of experiences, and they're able to speak on it, you know, instead of feeling stupid about saying anything.
I'll tell you guys, and I don't care if you think I'm fucking off.
No, because it's true, because there's people that have never had anything happen to them.
Yeah.
Or they look for that logical explanation to be like, oh, no.
It was everything.
There was a cat outside, or you know what I mean? Like, the wind blew the door open, you know, but when you have shit happen to you and you sit there and you want to fucking have it, like, I hope it's the wind. It's the wind.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, night after night, crazy things happen. And then especially, like, well, you know, we'll get to it to another day. But, you know, we've had shit.
Jacob.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Jacob.
That was a weird one.
Yes.
That was a weird one. But, you know, that was a sad one, actually. And then we've had dogs in our house that didn't belong to us. We've had shadow figures. Shit, what else?
The devil. In Upland.
Motherfucking devil.
He's seen him, not me.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit. A lot of stuff. But, you know, when you tell people don't... I think they're more embarrassed to admit it than anything. Maybe because they haven't had... Like, they don't want to say they believe because they never had anything happen to them.
Or they throw religion at you. I am... whatever, and we ain't supposed to believe. It's like, you're not answering me for you, you're answering me for your religion. Like, I'm telling you, and we ain't supposed to believe. Mm-hmm. It happens, people. It happens. I don't know, I think when you pay more attention is when you notice things. When you sit there and you don't notice anything, it's when you don't notice anything. No?
Say that again 2 times fast.
You know what I mean. Alright, guys. So that's it. That's what we have for you today. Vero, comadre, I hope you get better, because we are doing this hopefully next week. Rocky. Saludo to my mom. Like I said, we're going to do our saludos at the end. So she's actually watching the kids right now. Who want to give a saludo to?
Shout out to Felix. He's been watching the episodes.
Hi, Felix.
Felix.
We should have him come. He is like the Dos Equis man. He is like the most interesting man.
Got a lot of stories. He's an old man, so he got a lot of stories.
Yes. So Felix, this is your invitation. Got a chair right here waiting for you. Come talk to us. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We are wrapping that up. Next week I have a special guest coming, I think, and we're gonna be talking about domestic violence and all that stuff that goes behind that. So please stay tuned, because like I say, guys, I ain't going nowhere, and there is a lot where all this is coming from. If you've seen my stats, thank you so much for all the love and support, guys. Last month was 32 new subscribers. That is unknown to me. So muchas gracias, raza. Con eso los dejamos. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a great weekend.
That's it.
That's it. Nos vemos, raza. Los adoro. Bye.